X-Men is one of the greatest movie series you can see in this century. This is not hype, it's a fact. You can't tell me you haven't seen a movie from this series. They're full of excitement, action, suspense, and some sad scenes too. Welcome to the TV Regent, and today I'll be talking about the top 10 badass action scenes from the X-Men franchise. Starting the list, we have Mutants vs. Sentinels. This scene witnesses a massive effort to save the future and protect the mailman sent to the past, Wolverine. Days of Future Past is the movie that brought Magneto and Charles together. They neglected their differences and fought to save the future of mutants. Side by side, they fought with their team members. It was clear that they can't beat the Sentinels, but they were just trying to buy time for Wolverine to rectify the events that triggered the creation of the Sentinels in the past. Nobody could hold the Sentinels, not the Professor, not Magneto, and not even Iceman. But everyone tried warding off the Sentinels from getting to the comatose Wolverine. The fight took place at a temple in a no man's land, and it was just magical to watch. Up next, catch all the action when Wolverine engages in a ninja fight. The Wolverine was given Kuzuri by his long-term Japanese friend Yoshida. Yoshida's last wish was that Logan should protect his daughter. The vibe to rescue this lady kind of showed an overreaction from Logan. Did he have feelings for her? Maybe, maybe not. With Yukio, they both headed to Master Yoshida's facility. Don't forget, Wolverine's brute is compared to none. So much confidence in his superpowers, no one can beat such confidence. Some bunch of ninjas is fighting the man that killed the most powerful mutant? It was a piece of cake for him, until he was paralyzed. One of the things to notice in this scene is a combination of Yukio and Logan. Many arrows were put through Logan by ninjas. An arrow laced with poison was eventually used to weaken him. That led to his capture.
Too much iron in your blood.
Coming in at number 8, we have Magneto's prison escape scene. What better place to imprison a villain who can control metal than a prison made of plastic? All the materials used there are either nylon or plastic, which simply means Magneto can't escape. Even Michael Scofield couldn't break out of this one. And with the guns in there, it's absolutely impregnable. But how did Magneto escape? Let's flash back to his team member, Mystique, who is also known as Raven. She did everything, including a steamy romance with one of the guards. With the help of anesthetics, she was able to put the guard to sleep and work on him. Magneto's sense of metal is so sharp that he noticed metal particles in the guard's body system. He extracted the metals, which eventually led to the officer's demise. He walked out of the prison using the metals as stepping stones. It was a simple jailbreak and a short walk to his freedom.
Child.
Up next, we have X-Men vs. Apocalypse. Is Jean Grey a bad person? You will know her more in this part. X-Men Apocalypse was simply about a god. He wanted to kill humans and shut down humanity, but our heroes won't let that happen on their watch. This is somehow linked to our first point. The X-Men were also on a mission to recover Charles Xavier, the Professor. It was a fight where nobody thought of a victory. Apocalypse had captured the Professor. Quicksilver landed some punches, but he was too slow for a god. For the Professor, he was beaten twice, on the physical part and even in his mind. But this is no fight for Langley. Apocalypse had a winning record until he met Jean Grey. Like she later did to Charles, he burnt away at her will.
You want to give it a cure. Look what happened to Scott! You killed the man you loved because you couldn't control your power!
No, stop it!
That's it.
At number 6, we have Phoenix vs. Xavier. Charles Xavier was known for his telepathic ability, which was also one of the reasons why Magneto was full of envy for him. But was Charles the only person to have this ability? Nope. The most powerful mutant, Jean Grey, also had such power. What's more, she had 2 personalities, with the other known as Dark Phoenix. Whenever she was in this state, nobody could stop her, and that was what led to the demise of the Professor. The Professor knew this, so he built a wall between these personalities. But later, the walls came down and Jean turned into the Dark Phoenix. Jean Grey ended up lifting the Professor from his chair and just made him disappear into thin air.
Maximum effort.
Coming up at number 5, we have the Battle on the Highway. Deadpool is a grand character on his own. You can't watch Ryan Reynolds without laughing. He knows his job like he knows his name. His swordsmanship is excellent and his sense of humor top-notch. He entered the scene in grand style and left with mega style. The fight, more interesting than watching Mike Tyson displaying his punch on his opponent's face. Just like Wolverine, he has a self-healing ability. He first handled 4 armed guys in a car and even threw one of them out of the booth. He caused havoc on the road and eventually stopped Francis in his tracks. You can't miss how he was shooting and mindful of his bullets.
Cockshot! Oh, your poor wife!
In at number 4, we have Wolverine vs. Lady Deathstrike. Logan, popularly known as Wolverine, is a man of mysterious past. He had a troubled growth with a villainous brother. Logan possesses adamantium claws and self-healing abilities. On a mission to save the mutants from the killing hands of Stryker, the X-Men fought with him and his minions. Logan went up against Lady Deathstrike, also known as the female Wolverine. What was interesting to note was that Lady Deathstrike had the same abilities as Logan. The battlefield was even, though the lady had 10 claws, while Logan had 6. The thing about Logan is his stubbornness. He could enter where no one dared. The lady did a nasty job on him before he got the better of his opponent with adamantium, which he injected in her body to deliver the fatal blow. Next up, we have the Quicksilver Prison Break. We've seen his heroics before and we ain't getting tired of them. When it comes to saving the world, the X-Men don't care who they turn to. Quicksilver was sent by Charles to break Magneto out of prison. Magneto was kept in a secure facility under the Pentagon. I think the US government needs to cancel a tour of these secured buildings because Wolverine, the Professor, and Scott joined a tour to have access to the building. Scott and the Professor shut down the CCTV by interfering with it. Quicksilver had to hijack the officer that was on his way to give Magneto his food. His speed worked for him and the others after he broke Magneto out. The police caught them in the kitchen, but before it could result in a bloody fight, Quicksilver used his speed to knock the police out.
Full slide secure.
In the runner-up spot at number 2 is Nightcrawler invades the White House. Here we have a circus performer from Munich jumping over one of the most secure places on Earth, the White House. The incredible Nightcrawler was a playful human being. The Guten Tag boy blended in with people on a tour of the White House. He was shot by an agent in the process, but that didn't stop him. Kurt Wagner was recruited by Jean Grey and the Storm. He had the ability to teleport within short and long distances, so invading the White House sounded like it was pretty easy for him. At first, he didn't have the ability to see where he was going, but with much persuasion and encouragement, he could move without any knowledge. In the final spot at number 1, we have Quicksilver saving Xavier's gifted youngsters. Firstly, the nostalgic beauty of this scene can't be ignored. People were about to die, but then came Quicksilver. Quicksilver is arguably the fastest speedster in the film industry. He was born with his powers thanks to his father Magneto. Quicksilver, also known as Peter Maximoff, came to the scene looking for his father. He had heard that they would be coming to school. As fast as he is, he still missed his father. His son was the hero of the day. Though it was a heck of a journey, he managed to save all of Xavier's gifted youngsters in the most heroic display of speed and accuracy. So what do you think of our list? Do you think there are any moments out there that are more deserving to be on the list? Feel free to give your opinions in the comments section below. If there are any particular videos you'll want me to do, comment that below too. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to never miss my new uploads. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.